Oh, hello, Thomas. You know what? Your days are numbered. My pinchy is going to grab you by the top of the funnel here and drag you away. Sometimes that is if it doesn't fail. I'm in at Aldi and I notice I've got some wooden engines and it's the Thomas stuff here. Yeah, and looks like people have been getting into this, which is actually very good. But what I thought was curious was the split in the box and what characters were here. You've got two Diesel10s here, there's a Harold, there's a couple of Rosies, okay, a couple of Percys going on there, and the bulk of them, the most which are in there, is Thomas. So I've pulled up two of these trays here so you can see far more clearly what's going on inside there. There's something about this sort of uniformity that I like. Machine-like, isn't it? And maybe the character that I feel's the odd character out is Rosie. There seems to be very much the push for Rosie. Let's say it's the female character of this, isn't it? I don't know. That's the one I feel most uncomfortable with. It's great to see Diesel10. Maybe a Devious Diesel in this pack would have suited, because I always like Steamies versus Diesel. Or maybe the other one to get rid of is this one, hey, Harold. I don't quite like the way they've done the Thomas Wood version of that. It's just a bit too chunky. And while I'm at Aldi, I think the trick is you get these engines here, and they've also got their very, very inexpensive wooden railway sets here. Let me show you. This store's just been reformatted into something far more awesome, and this is what you would also buy if you're getting those Thomas trains here. It's a 95-piece wooden train set. It's at a very good price there. And I'm sure there are many people who know this trick. Is you buy sets like this, okay, the rolling stock that comes with this is fairly ordinary. That's why you get your good Thomas stuff. But what's in here is really all you need for your wooden train railway fun. Most interesting here, this set still uses the classic connection on their wooden railway track, unlike Thomas Wood. So for young children, I see great value in that, I really do. And what I also notice here, and this sort of spiked my interest up, is this one here. It reminded me of parts from the Brio wooden train sets that I grabbed. Some accessories there, you can see what's there, some track parts, a wash bay, two types of bridges and a crane. I see that as a must-have item, I can tell you, and if I put it back on the stack here, because I like to keep shops nice and tidy, that, plus those Thomas trains, which are awesome, is a must-do thing. So yeah, both those little sets, they're basically $30 each. One little trick of Aldi is you assess how much stock is here, sitting on the table here, and if this stuff doesn't sell soon, in the next coming weeks you'll find this stuff will move to this special bit, so you can basically short the price. That is if you want to take a bit of a gamble. How low can you go? Well, on further inspection in the store, there's actually two piles. This is the second pile of these wooden railway sets. Oh crikey, those LED lights are strobing out the video here. So yes, there's tons of stock to be had. There's one thing I wouldn't wait to come down in price, and that's this stock here. My store was very late in getting this because the store got revamped. I can assure you that this Thomas Wood here will basically be gone, well, let's say in a couple of days' time. I'm sure of it. Actually, while I'm here, there's something here that's very useful in my world, I can tell you. Yes, white lithium grease. That's great for stopping spiders. Oh, there's something else here that I quite like the look of. I've got purposes for this, but they're secret. Look at this here. It's gaffer tape and it's camo. Yeah, I like that. Oh, here's something. Oh yeah, wow. I like this as well. It's a map gas torch. Yes, I think I need one. Well, I will add a bit more onto this video because now I'm home. I've had a bit of a price revelation of what was going on at Aldi. Here's some stuff that I picked up at Aldi. That was $7.99 per item, okay. Call that $8 because we get rounded up by a cent in Australia, which to a lot of people won't make any sense. Sorry for the pun, but in the end, that's actually amazing value, because when I look back at some of the other Thomas Wood stock that I purchased, the price tickets are still on there, and I'm not going to name the retailer. Okay, you saw that price ticket? Remember the Aldi price? There's Diesel10. You know, that's 5 cents off $14. That's just astonishing price difference, isn't it? And of course, here's Thomas, and this is one that I purchased, not at Aldi, but look how much I paid. Wow, Thomas, what's going on? I've been away from YouTube for many months. I was going to steer well clear of toys because I think looking at toys is now an epic fail. Lots of people queried me, what's your thoughts about Thomas Wood? Because it really is a radical change in many, many ways, and it's not until I unpackage some and you get the engines in your hands, okay, and I think once I got this engine into my hand, I really, you close your eyes literally, you put your hands all over this, you feel it, and in a strange way it has a great hand feel. But the part which I don't like is visually when you look at this, I always say there's three very important aspects to a Thomas model. Number one is the face. I think, yes, we can tick the box, it has a good Thomas face. Number two is the shape. I'm struggling with the shape, mind you, this is a poor example about that, but on many of the larger engines, I think they all look same-ish. Okay, the third most important thing is the colour. It's all like the colour and the shape, okay? And because I've stripped them back down to have wood being seen, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't know, that's just me saying what I like and dislike about this. It's got a good hand feel, and sometimes, it's all about how it plays in the hand. I dare say they've done like, rocket scientists looking at this to work it out. Diesel10, it's just, I don't know. I remember Diesel10 when it had, more wheels than that. I don't know. It's just a cheapened down version of Diesel10. I'm never going to really feel happy about this because I know what preceded this was far more awesome. Mind you, Pinchy does can move around, but I don't know. There's just something about that that's not quite gelling with me. So sure, if that's the only Diesel10 you've seen in your whole life, you're going to think that's the best one, isn't it? Hey, the fact that Pinchy spins right round is nice. But if we take a look at the Diesel10 that preceded it, and this is my son's one here, oh my goodness me, what's going on here, boys and girls? Look at the size difference between Thomas Wood Diesel10 and Thomas Wooden Railway Diesel10. It's like chalk and cheese. In fact, the differences are so massive in scale, it's hard to believe they're from the same franchise. Maybe the thing that this Diesel10 lacked was the fact that Pinchy just went forwards and backwards in a very menacing way and didn't spin around, But many people would never have had a problem with the scale of this Thomas Wooden Railway Diesel10, although I know lots of people are going to struggle with the Thomas Wood Diesel10. Oh, look at this here. Pinchy's coming in for a bit of a punch-up. Oh, yeah, it's almost Wooden Railway Diesel10 1. So it really is a seismic shift in the way these toys present. The latest thing versus the classic. I know which one my heart's going towards, but, in 20 years' time, people might be saying, oh, but Leo, that's a classic Diesel10. Don't you know your stuff? That seems to be the way the toy industry bends stuff these days. In time, you'll forget all about that Diesel10 there. And I say that because a lot of people have really forgotten about the awesome Ertl Thomas toys. That's what time does to the toy industry, doesn't it? It basically reinvents it. While I was in another store, I found this very interesting read about Thomas Wood. And it sort of argues the point why we've changed. I could actually come in Photoshop and reword this and put the opposite argument in across. I think everything that's written there, you can read that as I go down. You can pause the video, but I really found that to be a very, very curious read. And honestly, when I read this, read the first bit there. The new track is easier to connect so children can build themselves. Well, it was the same with the old track. The children had no troubles with the old track at all. I better stop. I'm starting to get my blood pressure up. I will look at Thomas Wood properly in a way where I point out the good things and the bad things. There are good things going on, but the best thing? The best thing is when you get it at a really, really good price. It was absolutely fantastic to find these Thomas toys at a really good price in Aldi. I have no commercial connection to Aldi, but when I see Thomas toys going at a good price, you know what I do, and this is what I ask you to do. Yes, you buy as many as you possibly can. Yeah, buy them while they're cheap. You can never ever have enough Thomas, even though it's Thomas Wood, in your life. In my many months away from Nightmare YouTube, I did notice ALDI Australia was selling other Thomas toys. There was the Trackmaster Glowing Mine set. I think that's a copy of one of the classic Trackmaster sets, and it was selling for, let's call it $30. They sold very fast. There was also some My First Thomas stackers. They were up for $10 initially. None of them really sold that well, and then they went down to $5, and even then they struggled to sell. So that's the trick to ALDI. If you see stuff not selling, well, you've got to pick the right time to come in and get the short price. And most curiously and ominously, there was the Trackmaster Sky High Bridge Jump set, a set that divides the Thomas community. Its normal price in Australia, in other retailers, was punching up very close to $150, and what I did notice in other retailers, they struggled to sell. ALDI had it for a very good price, I thought, at $80, and I watched this stock very carefully. I didn't see anybody rushing in on the specials day to pick it up, and that stock sat there for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. I knew it was only a matter of time before that $80 set was going to come down much, much lower. And notably, this is also a playset that I saw being thrown out on the rubbish piles. I was astonished, in one way but not astonished, to see this going on. I think this is a great lesson in there are some Trackmaster sets that you grab and there are some that you just let go. I'm sure I've said before on my YouTube channel, be very careful of the one-trick pony styles of toys. So how much do you think I ended up picking up this Trackmaster set for once it started being heavily discounted at ALDI? I tell you what, I wasn't the only one watching this stock sitting there for a while, because when it got to a certain price, they vanished real fast. As I was making a thumbnail for this ridiculous video, I was playing the Diesel10 as you do, and the fact that Pinchy can't articulate, and there was something that I found out about Pinchy that's rather nasty. Pinchy can do this. Hello, Thomas. You're coming with me, with my little friend Pinchy, and Pinchy can grab Thomas from the funnel here. I got you now, Thomas. I got ya. I know, you're going to ask me, Leo, what about that trolley trap? Well, one thing, it looks a bit lighter over in this corner. This is the trolley return area. And let's just see if we've got a trolley trap going on anymore. Have we finally resolved this issue? That's the baby strollers there. Okay, and here are the ones you would return, and it looks like finally we have got a resolution. I could return a trolley here, key that into the other one to get back my coin, but man, how long did it take to resolve that one? Months upon months upon months. So yes, finally, it is now truly a trolley return area.